this beautiful, wet, cold, rainy Sunday day. I it's not just my knees, guys. I was diagnosed like 28 years ago that I had the beginnings of rheumatoid arthritis in the bases of my thumbs. This year it's been really bad. It's not bad as most people with rheumatoid arthritis, but if you your thumbs, you can't function well without your thumbs. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make myself a quick, fresh cup of tea. So if you'll give me a few minutes, I just want to let everybody get a chance to get in here and say hi. Am I lagging? I want everybody to get a chance to get. Let me just see if I can't put this on Wi-Fi for a second and see if that clears things up. No, that makes it worse, doesn't it? All right, let me go get a cup of tea and I'm going to go make a fresh cup of tea and I'll be right back. I just want everybody to get a chance to get in, say hi to everybody. I put a link to the off-grid off-grid with Doug and Stacy about what they're talking about tracking gardens. That's where I heard all of this. And it's not necessarily everywhere, but they want, I guess some places want you to register your garden if it benefits the community. They'll say, ow, they'll say anything, won't they? I'll be right back. Well, as fast as I can anyway. That soup starting to smell good. When you get up, if you can just put these dishes away that are on the towel, and that way I can get my noodles started right off the bat. You know what? Next sunny Saturday, you got to close in the window outside, out back, the bathroom window, and fix the soffit and stuff. It's falling into ribbons. I'm in pain as you can see. bring in your food from the coach too? All right. Tweedle-it, tweedle-it, tweedle-dee. I'm in pain, as you can see. But the beautiful thing about pain, if you can even say there's a beautiful thing about pain, sooner or later it's got to end. Right? Oh, my knees are rough today, Linda. My knees are rough today. Let me pop out our chat participants. Anybody who's been talking is going to get a shout out. Here, let me just, don't be looking at my nose here. Participants, Angela Passmore, Ben's Over Acres. You just wanted to hear me say that, didn't you? Betty Randall, Seashell, hello, my love. Always happy to see you here, Seashell. Celeste Autocure, Griff Lee, Isabella Rudd, Lacey Black, Linda Bopp, Marla Cato. Hang on, I got to tilt you guys for a second here. Marla Cato, Mary Cook, Nana, Rosie Slade, Sandy Wilkerson, Sherry Leach, and Yoshi, the Dino Yoshi. Uh-oh, I'm knocking things over all over the place here. Now, let me just pop that back up and let me pop out my chat so I can see better. There we go. No, I don't want it full size. There we go. My knees almost knocked me down yesterday. Well, I tell you. Hey, Emerald. That's Becky, right? And Sherry Leach. Chaos. How are you, darling? Rosie Slade. Yeah. It's been pissing down rain most of the day. We had some thunder and water just pouring off the eaves. The pool has been shut off, as you guys all know. Hey, Raph, my darling, how did you do at the community yard sale this weekend with your soaps? Raph makes some of the most wonderful soaps, and I'm trying to convince her to have a website so that she can sell her soaps at a distance because they are wonderful. I have a bar of pipe tobacco soap. And it smells just like Angela Passmore's grandfather, my Uncle Jim. Reminds me of him. I'm not going to use it. I just have it to smell every once in a while because I don't want to put any tobacco scent on my body. But the smell of pipe tobacco always makes me think of Angie's grandpa. Hey, Jane Doe Patriot, Charles Bauer, Sherry Leach. I do sell them at a distance and no website, just the Facebook page. Oh, well, that's good. Y'all got to post your Facebook page in here, Raph, or send it to me over in Messenger so that I can post it on here, okay? Because, your soaps are amazing. Your soaps are amazing. I know. Marla Cato, Bev, I have RA in the right hand and I'm right-handed. I have it in the bases of both my thumbs. These knots on the bottoms of my thumbs came out about 10 years ago. And now it's like last year, it was like my thumbs were getting dislocated or something. And now it's just knitting is really painful. Quilting is really painful, and I cannot find my tension gloves that I use for quilting because I would use those for knitting too. So I'm going to have to order some. And sell your soap, more people. You know what? Instagram is owned by Mark Zuckerberg anyway. Yes, I'm still on Facebook, folks, but I am also on Gab for those who don't want Facebook. I had to go back to my Facebook because a lot of my local contacts for firewood and pool water and all these things are on Facebook, on my Facebook Messenger. So, I took some time off yesterday. Well, after after I vacuumed and folded the laundry and stuff. I'm making soup for supper tonight because it is nasty. Every time I look outside, when I feel like this, I look outside and I expect to see the trees stripped of leaves, but they're just turning in spots. It's nuts. It doesn't feel hand looks like claws. Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons I still quilt and I still knit. Because as painful as it is, no. Yes, there's sometimes you got to give in to pain and rest. But Howie, could you turn that down a little bit, darling? The volume's on my side, I think. I made beef stew. Hubby was saying about it yesterday. It came out yummy. Well, I made grilled cheeses on homemade bread. I made him a grilled cheese, a couple of grilled cheeses. I just had a toasted cheese sandwich with ham parts. But I made him grilled cheeses yesterday, and he said, oh, it's almost ready for a tomato soup. And I said, I got a couple of cans of tomato soup left. I'm actually thinking of canning my own, but I pretty much did with my garden vegetables, right? But today, I've had a lot of people. My video is lagging, so got to close and try again. Okay, sweetheart. We're all making grilled chicken salad. Oh, that sounds lovely. Well, today, a lot of the new folks, mine's kind of glitchy, laggy. Let me turn it back to Wi-Fi and wait for a minute and then come back to data, okay? No, I don't want to cancel my live stream. Jeez, I'm not all here today. So, finally, hey, Squeaky Nips, how's it going? From Sydney, Australia. Been watching you since J Null Buzz. Oh my goodness. I'm actually gonna shoot. This is not working for me because if I don't phone, every couple of months at least, he threatens to send out a search party, make sure I'm still alive and kicking. And it tastes better than KFC. Ooh, cool. So today, a lot of new folks, I keep starting to say this, a lot of new folks on our half-acre homestead keep asking me especially after the Friday's video of, can you show us how to cook with all these, dehydrated and stuff? It's like, oh, honey, you must be really new. You must be really new. So put up 7 pints of tomato soup this week. I have 2 more batches of tomatoes ready to become soup waiting in the freezer. Yeah. Frost is coming soon, real soon. And hey, aces. Lots and lots of butterflies here in Central Texas, all over my windshield, really. Boiling muscadines to get juice for jelly making. Now, what is a muscadine? Hey, Karen Belair, how's it going? I'm going to be, in November, I'm going to be getting a cut sheet for my side of beef. And I'm going to ask him if soup bones come on the cut sheet or can I get a free load of soup bones. I'll take suet too, if they have it to give away. Just for suet makes a nice hard soap. But people have been asking, so I decided to make a pantry pull soup today. I made a pantry pull supper yesterday. And I made a pantry pull soup today. And so today it's going to be chicken noodle soup, but with a twist. I'm going to make a different kind of noodle, sort of, to go in. I will be digging dandelion root this week before snow and pull the rest of my garden as well. Do you got any extra garlic, sweetheart? Like if you've got, or do you know where I can get some that isn't from China? My soup bones, the garlic that you buy in the grocery store that comes in them little white mesh bags and it's all white, they bleach it so that you'll have a hard time growing it. My soup bones have nice meat left on them. I made beef and dumplings with meat. Well, I just pulled broth and chicken in broth and celery and dehydrated stuff out of the pantry, and I have one egg left that and I'm going to make noodles. But you know what? I bought a 4.5 pound box of whole egg powder. Canadian, no hormones, steroids, everything cost me $120. And you know what? They ain't freeze dried. They're only good for a year. So I'm going to have to use them. It's not like I can put them in long-term storage. They're not freeze-dried powdered eggs. They're just powdered eggs. Well, I have lots of chicken noodle soup. As anybody who's been around me long enough will see that we live on a lot of soup in the wintertime just because there's so many soups you can make, and they are all filling on a nice hot bowl of soup on a cold, damp, or snowy day, right? Timothy, hi. Hi, Mama Cat. How's it going? There's a lady in your area that grows 1,700 a year. I will send her your info. Her info. Thank you, darling. Because I don't mind garlic powder, but I'd really love some garlic that I can slice up and dehydrate for just for garlic flakes when I put them in, soups and stews and stuff. Muscadines are a variety of grapes. Okay, thank you. They grow wild down here, also known as scuppernong. Okay, well, I recognize scuppernong more than I do muscadines. Hey, old critters, how's it going? So, yeah, it's a soup night. And there'll be, Howie will be thumbsing it up because he loves my soup. And it'll be a nice slab of homemade bread with it. My sourdough died. I have to tell you guys this. My sourdough died because I neglected it. Forgot to feed it. It's like a plant. But the thing with sourdough is you have to use it and feed it every day or it dies. So there's a Food Max in Winchester, VA, garlic. For $24, you can get a half gallon of peeled. Well, see, I used to do that. I used to go to, when I would shop for the bakery, I would go to a couple of places, one in Ottawa. There was a National Grocers distributor in Ottawa, and another in Hull. And I would go buy, bags of peeled garlic. But I'd rather buy local. See, this is the way I'm thinking. Even if it's like you buy at the grocery store, if it's got like them carrots grown in Quebec and onions and potatoes and peppers from provinces nearby, Ontario, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, that kind of thing. You're not only putting food on your shelf that where it came from, that you process, but you're supporting your local farmers. And when I say local, I mean local to your province, state, or country, right? Okay, thank you, Raph. Hey, yellow bird up high in banana tree. You can refrigerate your mature starter and feed weekly or every 2 weeks. Well, Audrey, thank you very much. I had no idea. Cooking Mom. My sourdough is older. You inspired me to start making the bread again. Well, I still have lots of yeast. So, and for me, but I have found a new method for making bread easier. And it's the weirdest thing. I got it from Ma Engels, right? And I got curious about her bread sponge. Oh, let me set my bread sponge, right? And if I want to make bread, say tomorrow, I will put yeast, sugar, and equal amounts of warm water and flour, and I will whisk them and then just put a cover on them and put them in the oven overnight with just the light on. You don't even need the light on. Just cover it and put it in the oven overnight or near a wood stove. and it makes it's like it's almost like a sourdough starter in the gooiness of it. And then you add your bread and stuff. And shape it into loaves, and boom, it makes this beautiful light fluffy bread. Whereas I have been always making the dough, rising it once, punching it down, shaping it into loaves, and then rising it again, and it's kind of dicey. But when I make the starter dough and let it just bubble up for hours, or even overnight, you can add your flour the next morning, put it in loaves, and it rise. And I made beautiful bread. We still have, we just started the third loaf. I made beautiful bread on Friday. What's cooked? Wait a minute, I missed something here. Rosie, did you just say a whole bunch of okay, I have to can up 3 number 10 cans of tomatoes since it was cheaper to get the 10 cans of tomatoes than a box of tomatoes. Well, there you go. You know, you do what you got to do. Hey, there's Patricia Johnny Carson. Hey, Joan from Pennsylvania. Kim, how are you, darling? Hey, Malka, you're not that late, sweetheart. We're only 20 minutes in. I'm currently canning vegetable stock, carrots and glazed carrots. Well, I was going to do some canning of broth this weekend. And then I realized I haven't got my deer carrots yet. They're late for me. So I'm going to, on Friday, I'm going to go hop up to Kaz and see if I can't get a bag of deer carrots if they're not at the Brennan's Hill store. Yes, I'm using it, but not the last few days. I've been in way too much pain, but tomorrow I'm back on track. But what I want to do is I'm going to do something different when I make my broth, because a lot of my celery has bolted and gone hollow. I'm going to be putting it through the juicer, the juicer that I use to make my green juice. And I'm going to put the juice into the broth instead of all of the celery. I'm going to put the juice in the broth makings. And of course, I'll cut the bottoms off them, wash them and put those in too. But I'm going to have 2 canners full of just stuff to make broth soon. But I won't wait until I get my carrots. I want to can my carrots, and then I've got all the peels and the ends, right? So I'm going to juice the celery and take all the juice out of it and put it in with the broth makings, and that way there's less bulk in the canners, because I've got a big bag of onion ends and celery ends and all that stuff. And then the pulp that comes out of the juicer, I'm going to dehydrate and grind to celery powder. Hey, Peggy, how are you? Oh, give Ron a great big hug for me too. I have seen deer carrots on the reserve, Maniwaki, and where I live. What are the prices like, sweetheart? What are the prices like? I don't have any money till Friday anyway. Friday's payday. Howie gets paid on Friday. But I'm going to leave my parsnips in the ground until we get a hard frost. That'll make them nice and sweet. Some people say to overwinter them, but what's the point of overwintering them when I can can them and have them all winter? You see what I mean? Overwintering them in the ground, I mean. When we were stationed in Germany, I used to sniff parsley and molasses because they smelled like hay and silage from the farm. Yeah, I bet. How big of a bag, sweetheart? Because are those 35-pound bags, or are they 50-pound bags? Because those were 50-pound bags we got last year, and they were $8. You cut my celery 3 times this year. Well, I have been a going concern. I've just been going. I mean, the videos you're going to get this week are going to show that, but they're going to, like tomorrow, I may juice my celery. If it's not raining and I can go out and pick it, I may juice. Hi, Kathleen Plumley. I may juice the celery tomorrow and just put it in the freezer until I'm ready to make the broth, and then dehydrate the pulp. I've got spaghetti squash powder. You'll see the video how I turned my mistake into a victory. Because I didn't know spaghetti squash do not ripen when you take them off the vine. You have to let them ripen on the vine or they will just stop. Right? And I made that mistake, and you'll see that this week. Okay, good. All right. Well, maybe I'll be, if I don't see something either at the Brennan's Hill store or at the Kaz, poor Kaz, right? They're down to like a gas station now, a gas station and a store. But good. I need at least a 50-pound bag of carrots. I'm going to make a variation of pies this year that's going to have people scratching their heads. But you wait and see. Pie time is coming. And the way I see it, if I can, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for some containers, like sandwich containers, and I'm going to bake pies. And whenever I bake, not pies, but whenever I bake a pie, see, we don't eat the whole pie because it's too much for the two of us. So I will either make smaller pies and freeze them, and then Howie can just take like a pie to work. Or I might try my hand at hand pies. Like, I've got an idea because I have little pie plates or little tart dishes that I can make a small pie in. But when you make the filling, I don't think pumpkin would do very well in a hand pie, though. Do you? So what I can do is I can make, when I make, say, a pumpkin pie, Howie and I'll have a piece, and I'll send him a piece in his lunch, and the rest of the pie I will cut up and put in little freezer containers and put them in the freezer and just write on the lid or put a sticker on the lid, and that way I can just take a piece of pie out of the freezer and throw it in his lunch. You know what I mean? I got the 4 jars lids, and now I love them better than Ball and Kerr. Thanks for showing me the lids. You're welcome, Rosie. Hey, Lacey Black. I love my my canning lids. I really do, my 4 jars canning lids. And I actually emailed them and said, you know what? And can you send me a couple more sleeves, because I'm down to my last. See, I don't have a lot of largemouth jars, so I'm down to my last 100 sleeve of regular jars. Just because I don't put out a canning video every day or even once a week doesn't mean that I'm not canning. It just means you've already seen one video. Like, for instance, you're going to see ketchup this week, oven roasted ketchup. I'm drooling at the thought of it, actually. I made oven roasted ketchup. And I did a video for y'all, right? But I made this mistake of, oven roasting the vegetables, putting them in the blender, and then realizing that there's still skins and seeds because my blender is a Ninja blender with S blades. So I thought, well, I'll just put them through this wire sieve. And I did. And you're getting that video. But the thing is, I completely forgot I have a food mill or two in my bloody pantry. So the next batch of ketchup I made, because you got so many few tomatoes, few peppers, some onions, all of that stuff, but it's not really enough to make anything. You can make ketchup. And the second batch, I used my food mill, which was a lot smarter, but it's delicious. Like, Howie's like, oh, I smell chili sauce. I said, no, you smell ketchup. And I don't season it, folks. It's just peppers, tomatoes, onions, oven roasted, pureed, put through the food mill, and then brown sugar and cider vinegar. And if you don't have cider vinegar, you can use white sugar. And if you don't have brown sugar, use I'm out of brown sugar, so I used organic sugar for my second batch, but I added molasses because that's brown sugar, right? Sugar and molasses. So I love the little bags that they come in. They don't get old like Kurt lids do. Well, yeah, I love them in the bag. This is what she's talking about. See? This is 50. This is half the box. And hey, Raph, honey, do you use largemouth jars? Because I only have so many. Hi, Bev. I'm canning corn and corn broth this afternoon. Also got some zucchini dehydrating. Dennis the farmer has full of different squashes ready. I need to stop this week. Well, I've got pumpkin, and I've actually got 2 sweet potatoes that's been sitting on my table for a month. I'm actually going to can them up to save them, right? I'm making a chicken stir fry using sweet potatoes, stir fry vegetables and spinach. So far, it tastes pretty good. Well, I'm losing my taste for salad, and that's because of the weather. The weather is changing, right? Stir fry vegetables and spinach. Oh, that sounds really good, actually. Okay, well, next time you come down, honey, remind me that I'm giving you some lids, okay? You can have at least half this box because I only have so many pint jars that are wide mouth, and I never used to buy wide mouth because they're more expensive, and the lids were always more expensive. Hey, Vicky Lemire, how are you, darling? Oops, there goes my screen. So yeah, winter is coming, and I did talk about the registering your gardens and stuff. My pantry project for this weekend was dehydrating a bunch of O'Brien frozen potatoes. Well, there you go. Hey, Laura, how are you, darling? Been listening for a while as I clean my camper while Howie moved back into the house today. So he cleaned out the fridge from the coach. And next spring, I'm going to be getting a new awning for it, a new awning for over the pop out, and I'm going to get things fixed because I want to go somewhere sometime. Well, you hang in there, Vicky, and we'll keep you in our prayers. I will be going to the dentist on Wednesday morning. I was thinking of stopping in on my way back home. Okay. I told you don't need no invitation unless it's before noon. If it's before noon, you might want to tell me you're coming because I could be walking around in my underwear. No, but you know what I mean. I could be snoozing. We're having in Alabama the cool weather. Well, I like using wide mouth jars better. I can get my hand inside when washing. Me too. Now I have my half gallon jars are wide mouth. But I'm going behind the fan, guys. I'm going behind the fan for a minute. Talk among yourselves. I've learned so much from you, Mrs. V. I really admire all your wisdom. Honey, don't admire me. If you're learning something, then that's all. Then my job, then I've done my job. Because it's taken me years to figure out what my purpose is. And my purpose is to help, is to share my experience, my strength, and my hope with y'all that has gotten me this far in life. Like, I mean, there's people out there that say, oh, you're nuts. I've seen you crazy and raging and talking like a lunatic. Well, yeah. Have you talked to me lately? Because people grow. And I don't mean people grow and change. And I don't mean like Michael Jackson saying, well, people age, they change. Well, no, you're born with that nose. It doesn't magically change into that nose. That's not what I mean. When I say changing, life is a journey. And if you learn something as you're moving forward, the real sin would be not to share it, right? Not everybody wants to know. And that's why we do it on YouTube, because that gives people the opportunity to just keep on scrolling. You know what I mean? So, I've had people tell me that I should have been a teacher. No, I would not have worked well within the constructs of a restricted classroom. My YouTube channel does just as well. And if you go back, if you're new and you go back and you look at our half acre homestead in the beginning, you'll see, yeah, I dyed my hair pink a couple of times and stuff. But you'll see in the beginning, my hair was a nice rich brown with threads of silver. And look at her now. I mean, I've grown a lot coming to YouTube. And it's been a part of the journey, with people like Noreen's Kitchen and Noreen of Noreen's Kitchen and Bear Prepper and Michigan Snow Pony, you know, and learning from those ladies and then stepping out and learning, new stuff on my own. And it's been wonderful. And I really hope to continue. I really do hope to continue. In the video where Nicole Kidman is trying to talk us into eating bugs, I thought her face was looking a little Michael Jackson-ish. Oh, she got addicted to Botox, I hear. I call her plastic face because Botox freezes your face. And so she has a really hard time making facial expressions. So I'm not a huge, I used to love Nicole Kidman. And I still love what's her face? Who did she? Howie, Miss Congeniality, Sandra Bullock, and I've noticed she's had some work done. And you know what? Do you know who I love to look at? Jennifer Aniston, Julia Roberts. If they've had work done, it's not obvious and they didn't get addicted to it. They are naturally beautiful. And I honestly think that natural beauty does not end with age. Those women will grow old gracefully and beautifully. Whereas we've seen what addiction to plastic surgery can do, right? I think Jennifer Lopez is very beautiful as well. I really do. And I think she's a wonderfully talented woman. But my favorites, are like women like Kathy Bates, Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston. I mean, Brad Pitt, you left Jennifer Aniston for what's her face. So who doesn't drink? I love Kathy Bates. I don't know anything about her personally, but whenever I find something that just disillusions me about a celebrity, I just go, oh, okay, off my list of, beautiful people. Because when I say beautiful inside and out, right? Who didn't want kids? Jennifer Aniston didn't want kids? She owns the roles, right? And there's something about Kathy Bates that just makes me feel like she's my soul sister. Because if I was an actress, those are the kind of roles I would have played. Oh, I saw The Hustler last night. J-Lo doesn't drink. I love Kathy Bates as well. Well, everyone says that I have beautiful skin. I'll tell you what. It's because I don't drink alcohol and I don't smoke cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for 26 years. And I drank most of my life. Not every day, but I drank most of my life right up until 1997 when I quit. And it has changed. Your skin's an organ, eh? So, I mean, I owe what, I mean, I'm no youthful beauty, right? I got too big of a nose and my teeth are falling out. My hair's gray and thinning out. But the truth is, what youthful vitality that my skin has, I owe to the lack of alcohol and cigarettes. Those two things are deadly. They're both poison. I do all of the above and have beautiful skin. Secret, Nivea cream. I don't put shit like that on my face. Like people say, what do you do to your skin? Nothing. Quite literally, I shave now and again because I'm growing a beard. Um, but I don't do anything. I wash my hair when I'm in the shower, and the shampoo runs over my face. That's as close as soap gets to my face. And that's one of the reasons I stopped doing readings and stuff in Glamour is the 3 or 4 or 5 times I put all that makeup on, my face aged with every application of makeup and everything I had to do to get the makeup off. So I thought, I'm not doing that to my face no more. Hey, vroom, vroom, how's it going? I had a nice honey cream that is beautiful. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Linda. I like to think it's that my journey is beautifying me from the inside out, right? Oil of old lady. Hey Queen, hey Queenie, how are you, darling? Natalie, hey Peggy Stray. How's Vro today? Vroom, vroom. Well, oatmeal's good for you, and Howie's going to have oatmeal for breakfast tomorrow. But I actually saw this and I sent it to myself through Messenger. This is one of the reasons I had to keep Facebook, right? But I saw this through Messenger. Somebody made baked oatmeal and it looked like chocolate cake. It was quick oat, like large flake oatmeal, eggs, maple syrup, and cocoa. And they poured it into a little bowl and baked it and put chocolate chips on top. And Howie goes, I said, that's no different than oatmeal. I put maple syrup on Howie's oatmeal. The cocoa is only, bad for you if it's full of sugar, which maple syrup is a natural sugar. So I might try that this week for Howie. We'll see. My grandma makes oatmeal cake. It's to die for. Please send me the recipe, Laura. Please send me the recipe at connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com. Wow. So maybe I'll make him baked oatmeal tomorrow. But I'm wondering if I can, what I might do is take my steel cut oats and soak them overnight first because they're steel cut oats. I'm so sorry I have to go for now, so may the Great Spirit protect you and yours. Thank you, Marla. Take care. Got any birthdays in the house today? The baked oatmeal sounds delicious. I'll have to try it. Well, I'm going to do a video on it maybe tomorrow or one day this week when I'm used to having Howie back. Are you ready to have me back for up at 5:30 making my breakfast and lunch every day? And I said, Howie, whether you're sleeping out there making your own breakfast and lunch, I just find more work to do in the time that you give me. I don't quit, right? Yesterday was a rare day. I folded the laundry, I vacuumed the living room, and then I sat down to knit. And I made Howie lunch, and I made supper, right? It's just normal back to life routine. That's all. Cooked in the crock pot. I have an old oatmeal cake recipe in my mom's cookbook. If you want it, I'll email it to you. Thank you, Rosie. And Laura Higgins. That was... You're 60? Okay. Malka, I'm going to sing happy birthday to you because Wednesday was a patrons live. It was unlisted. So I told you to remind me on Thursday, and you weren't here on Thursday, I don't think. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Malka. Happy birthday to you. You'll be 53. Hey, Roxanne, on Friday. Well, come to the Thursday evening. It's usually around 8:30, 9 o'clock on Thursday night. Come to the public live. Then I only do 2 public lives a week, and that's Thursday and Sunday, and I will sing happy birthday to you. You're welcome, darling. You're welcome, Malka. So I was going to go behind the fan because after this, I'm making noodles. And the thing is I'm probably going to. Did you see the light bulb go off over my head? Those powdered eggs. Are only good for a year, so I'm going to be using them in my noodles. I'm going to make up a whack of noodles soon. I just got to figure out how I'm going to dry them all because you don't dehydrate noodles. Who's Mary Jo? Hey, Jane Doe Patriot. So I got a lot of things coming. Thank you, Queen Nee. Would you like a card? I haven't even pulled the cards out yet. Give me a minute to go behind. And let me know if you'd like a card. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. The farm on Highway J. Late to the party. Love your channel. You've inspired me to start mine. Good job. Tech isn't great yet, but I'm having fun and doing some fun giveaways, mostly from Soya Quilting. Wow, farm on the highway. That's wonderful. Why don't you, you know what? If you look back at my very first videos, they are so choppy. And so, you know, it's a work in progress. I'm still a work in progress. Because you know what? The day we stop growing and learning is the day God calls us home. Congratulations. Lay the noodles over a broomstick. They will air dry. Well, I'm going to get Howie to bring in my drying rack from the deck, and I'll wipe it all down. It's been fun, and I'll get there. Yes, exactly. No cards for you? Okay, sweetheart. But thank you for the tip. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate it. Because I know money's hard to come. It's not that money's hard to come by. For some people it is. But money just doesn't buy what it used to. Like there was some guy who was trying to say that you know, the problems with this is, you know, the fuel bill, are low, and they want an accountant for that, I guess, in our township office or on the council. And one of the council members said, if you looked at the gas prices have over doubled. You know, even though they're dropping down, they're still not low enough for me to be happy. I won't be happy until it's down to $1 a liter. $1.10 a liter. I'll be happy then. Right? I'll be even happier when it's Mary. Hey, how's it going? Would you like a card, Mary Fair? Okay, I'm going behind the fan. Okay. It's like I told my patrons. I've lost quite a few patrons, and I know it's not because of me. It's because money's tight. Times are hard. They're not raising wages. They're only raising prices. Everything has gone up in price. Some things have doubled in price, right? If you add up all the percentages, yes, a card, please. That would be awesome. All right, give me a second. And let me get the cards out. No, folks. I don't smoke cigarettes. Those things will kill you. All right, let's get out. I love this piece of fabric. I'm a fabric junkie, even if I don't quilt so much. I got to get working on Briar's quilt. But, you know, I told my patrons right off the bat, you know, as soon as this crap, this recession, the just inflation Trudeau, the inflation that's going on, and the bull crap that we're facing, money's just not going as far. And I understand that on Patreon, I am disposable income. What does that mean? That means that the money you give me should be the first thing you take off your list if you're budgeting. Why? Because I'm here live sometimes, and the patrons' lives are for Freaky Friday, and Monday and Wednesday we sit down and we talk real stuff that I can't necessarily talk about on YouTube. You know what I mean? So, but I also understand that, it's not personal. It's not personal when people have to, I'm like Netflix. I'm not like Netflix, but you know what I mean? It's like, okay, where do you trim the fat? Wow. Okay. I haven't even said your name yet. Start raising starting wages, prices up, experienced, tenured can't make. I know. And the truth is, you know what we just watched today? We watched the movie Fallen Down with Michael Douglas. Now, I feel like that's a pretty recent movie. That thing was recorded 29 years ago. And the phrase kept coming through the movie because this guy actually kind of goes nuts because he's no longer economically viable to the world, to his family, to his job, anything like that. And I looked at Howie, and I mean, I was watching in the beginning of the movie where he's stuck in traffic, right? He's stuck in traffic. He has a nice white shirt on and a tie and his glasses and his, little Pinto car or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, watching every dime cuts out the extras. You're exactly right. And the thing is I'm watching the trap. People are stuck in traffic and they're starting to snarl at each other and yell at each other. And that energy multiplies fast. Love, light, and peace is it's much easier to keep peace than it is to diffuse, rage. And so it can be a hard road. Now, this is a card from Mary. Mary. Okay, there's one card, Mary. That just popped out for you. Mary Fair. Whoa, there we go. That one flipped right over. All right. Mary. Your first card. Now listen, folks. I read intuitively. So if you have these cards that I'm pulling and you go, that's not what that means. I read what the card tells me for the person who asks, not necessarily going by a book. Okay. Your first card was strategy. And if you look carefully, there is scrolls and maps and a pen. Okay. And you are on the ball, Mary. You are working a strategy right now. And I think it's a financial one that is going to ensure happy family. I see. So you've got a strategy to keep things going forward and to keep, your family happy. Just be careful, because I'm getting the sense that you're running yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally into the ground a little bit, trying to make your family more happy, trying to make everybody happy, period. So you need a new strategy. So this just went south real quick. You need a new strategy that's going to allow you to do your best to keep things peaceful and happy in your family without killing yourself in the process, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Does that make sense? I hope. Hey, Jimmy S., Gail MacArthur, Roxanne. It's called Fallen Down with Michael Douglas. And it's like just one thing happens. And then he just snaps. And he goes and attacks all the injustices that have been happening in his life that he sees happening to everyday people. But it turns out he's the bad guy. Does that make any sense? I am from the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I know that traffic all too well, but I do miss Chicago Italian stores. We don't have those in Hawaii. We make our own ricotta cheese. I don't do ricotta cheese. I'm not fussy on it. I got it once for lasagna. I didn't think it was that great. But I saw some guy on some little video make a chicken lasagna. And I think I got one of them coming up. Does it make sense, Mary? Okay. Someone asked about canning hamburger patties. Are they cooked first? That's all I'm asking. Are they cooked first? Or are you stacking raw patties with a piece of parchment in between and trying to can them that way? Hence, remember me saying you never, ever, ever can raw hamburger. So that's the question. Misfit Mountain Farm. I would love to be blessed with a card reading one day. Well, okay. Misfit Mountain Farm. Ooh, Misfit Mountain Farm. I think the animal oracle cards. These are slippery. Misfit Mountain Farm. Okay. All right. Okay. Your first card is Nobility, the elk. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. Okay? That means you don't have to be fake and say, "Oh, no." When you say when they say humility, you celebrate all of your accomplishments, but give the glory over to your maker, is what I'm hearing here. You give the glory to your maker, and that is humility. Because without our higher power, without our faith, without our structure of things that we work towards, we would be vainglorious and arrogant, wouldn't we? So as long as we continue to, our accomplishments, be grateful for our accomplishments, be grateful for your higher power or your creator for your accomplishments, and you won't become arrogant. You might, but the moment you take, I don't know where this is coming from, but the moment you take pride, there is pride, but the moment you take credit for your accomplishments is the moment that there's a crack in your humility, right? You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. You got that, Misfit? Now, your next card was the upside down lynx. Now, the lynx is the keeper of secrets. Take time out from the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowing. You see other secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. This was upside down. So what I'm getting from this is there's a crack in your humility. And you're not being honest with yourself about something. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but you have to be honest with yourself, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, in order to keep your nobility. You've got to, and there's also somebody near you. It's not just you're keeping secrets from yourself. You're keeping secrets from somebody very close to you. And you are afraid that it will change how they see you. No, this is not a secret you should be keeping from that person. You do them an injustice by thinking that it will change how they see you or love you. It may change how they see you, but it won't change their love for you. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. Vicky! Did that make any sense, Misfit Mountain Farm? Vicky, Energy Oracle cards are calling you, I think. Vicky Lemire. Do you think next Thursday I could have a card, please? If you're there. Isn't it your birthday? Or close to it? It did make sense. Okay. All right. All right. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Vicky. No. No, not you, Vicky. I was talking to Roxanne about birthday. Whoa. Okay. But that was me saying another name. Roxanne, on Thursday, make sure you ask for the Animal Oracle cards. This is for Vicky. Whoa, wow. That one flipped right over in the deck. Polar Bear. Vicky Lemire. The Mystic. We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Ere our bonnet boat was won, as we sailed into the mystic. That's a little high for me. Polar Bear. Your card is the Polar Bear, Vicky. Know that challenges make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest, dream, and renew your strength. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. Do I have to reiterate? I couldn't have said it better myself. You are still struggling with your connection to source and your abilities. They are given to you by the Creator. All right? So stop denying. You're denying it. Stop denying, Vicky, how far the connection goes, because it's very deep. All right? And be responsible about it. Where's EJ? EJ! Actually, my favorite version of that song is done by Colin James, Canadian singer. Our bonnet boat was won as we sailed into the mystic. Mm-hmm. And when that foghorn blows, I'll be coming home. It's one of my favorite. I'm going to do that on Freaky Friday. You're welcome, sweetheart. I saw a video that in New Brunswick, they caught the government poisoning the water supply. Ooh, Virgo, send that to me at connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com. Please send me that link. It's been a while since I've done a Rumble video. And you know, Trudeau's always at the top of my Grumble Rumble list. Now he's like, oh, they found great massive graves in Russia or Ukraine or whatever. And it's like, seriously, dude? You're going to talk about that? He's backpedaling so fast because he's drowning, you know? And I hear the next big hopeful is Pierre Poilievre. And people are already coming out saying, he's a racist. He's a dickhead. He's too smug. I said, seriously? You're going to call him a racist when the prime minister that's in office right now has been in public wearing blackface 3 different times? Don't even go there with me, right? I've got $30 5-gallon pails of tomatoes from my garden. You got 35-gallon pails of tomatoes from your garden. Wow. Huffy Prepper. Beautiful voice and song. All, I sing better when I got music in the background. That's awesome. Where's Donna? We buy new Chattel cheese at Aldi's when it's 79-cent lots. I'm out. Dollar store wants $3.50. Wow. There are none so blind as those who refuse to see. It's true. It's true. Everybody is going to want somebody to blame. Everybody's going to want somebody. It's like the day. Let me tell you a little story. Several years back, when my greenhouse was a chicken coop, I raised 40 meat birds. The fast-growing, genetically modified the Cornish rock crosses. Because the white rocks were genetically modified. They were growing so fast, they were cooking their hearts. They were literally, they couldn't, their heart and lungs couldn't cope with the rate of their growth. So they crossed them with white Cornish, to try and slow down the beast. But they still grow fast, and they're still prone to heart attacks and flip over disease and stuff. But anyway, we were growing them one year. This is before I decided I did more research, and I ain't never grown them, right? Because when I first bought meat bird chicks to raise, I read the phrase hatchery pamphlet that said that they were genetically engineered birds to grow faster and were prone to flip over disease and heart attacks. Now that was in 1993. That was in 1993-94. They don't say that anymore. But anyway, the last time we raised meat birds, I had them out in the chicken coop, and now their yard was closed in, but weasels would still be able to get through. So every night, when Howie came home from work, or whatever, as it was, as before it got dark, the chickens would all go inside to roost, and I'd go out and I'd close the little sliding door that let them out. And every morning before Howie went to work, he'd open the door. So one night I said, "Did you close?" It was only open that much. I said, "Did you close the door, the little door on the chicken coop?" "They're fine." 5:00 the next morning, dawn and mist and fog, and I get up and I go to the bathroom and I see things crawling all over my chicken coop, like 5 or 6 things. And I went, "Howie, get the shotgun." And he's like, What? And I said, "There's raccoons all over the chicken coop. All over the chicken coop." And he got the .22 and out he went. But by then it was too late. You see, the raccoons didn't kill my 40 meat birds. A fisher had. Just ripped their heads off, dragged their blood. Fisher cat's a big weasel, it's like a cross between a wolverine and a weasel. You know what I mean? They're really nasty. And the poor raccoons just came for, the free brunch, right? They smelled the blood, they came. But Howie went out there with a .22 And I had to drive Briar to work. And I said, clean it up. And so when I got back, all the dead chickens were in garbage bags. Were in a garbage bag in the wheelbarrow. And there was a dead raccoon on the top. And it took, he's like, Bev, it wasn't, the raccoons didn't do that. Right. And I didn't care. But when he tells the story, he said, now it was a Fisher cat that cleared out our birds. But I was in trouble and something had to die. So he got a raccoon. I don't know what was bringing this on. Is like somebody that, here's what it is. People always want something to blame, something to judge, find guilty, and execute. Okay. Not necessarily physically or, in reality, but I'm saying we all have been trained to have this habit to find something to blame and to judge it so that we can wash our hands of the issue. What was me washing my hands? I blamed Howie. I could have gone out and shut that door myself. Because when he said, they're fine, I knew he didn't do it. Right? Hey, Bridget. So, hi, Alan. How are you? Skippy Jones, Jimmy S. No par cooked patties. I would make, I don't know. I don't know. I've never done it. That's all I can say. Game Commission released some of those fishers. They are mean. Absolutely. I think raccoons are great, but just not on my property, right? Like I see people feeding them. But the whole point is this is the way society is, right? It doesn't matter who's in the wrong anymore. It matters how we individually handle the situations that have been handed to us by society, by government, the stuff that we have allowed to happen to get here. I voted Trudeau in the first time. As far as I'm concerned, my vote was the tipping factor. And I was thrilled until he lied and went back on every promise he made. Every assurance he gave. And now he's backpedaling. And everybody's looking to Pierre Poilievre to be the new blue wave, not the red wave. And the problem is with much power comes much responsibility. And people are already hacking Pierre Poilievre off at the knees. And it's like, folks, don't you realize what your alternatives are? NDP and Liberal. NDP and Liberal, who are the same party. So we have to take personal responsibility for our mistakes. We have to take personal responsibility for the things we've allowed to happen because of our complacence. Don't be blaming or judging anybody but yourself. Anybody but me. It's the only person I have, because even God don't judge, right? That's okay, Queen Nee. That's okay, sweetheart. Spiders, I don't mind. We got big wolf spiders around here. You know them things eat. Howie? What are those wolf spiders you were telling me? What did they eat the other day? Well, that don't help much now, does it? Crickets, aphids, all kinds of, they're great spiders. I love spiders. Except when they corner me in the pool. I didn't have a pool spider this year. I think they got some kind of genetic memory and went, nah, we don't want to deal with her. Even though I let them go. What's really disturbing me, the only good spider is a dead one. What's really disturbing me, live action, catch a fly. That's cool. Well, I mean, I see videos of people putting out kibble and sitting outside and feeding raccoons. And it's like, buddy, if those get into your attic, your house is screwed. Don't you get that? You're inviting them. You know, they'll eat the eggs right out of a hen. They'll kill a laying hen, not for the laying hen, but so they can eat the eggs out of its inside. Because eggs, you've got maybe anywhere from 10 to 30 eggs inside a laying hen when she's in full production, all at the same time. They're just in different stages of development. And that's what the raccoons go for. Oh, I like tarantulas. Yeah, so Tony G. Hi, Tony G. My dad and I, when we first moved up out of the city into Apsley, Ontario, we saw all kinds of birds and bugs and snakes we'd never seen in downtown Toronto, in the blue collar district of Toronto, the industrial district, really. And I remember Dad and I were looking at this one spider one day, and it had a big round belly, and it looked black, but when the sun hit it, it went purple and green, and it was really beautiful. And I said, and Dad and I were looking at it going, what kind of spider is that? And a big foot came down. And we looked up, and it was my brother Bob, and he said, a dead one. But I think spiders are cool. As long as they don't, it's taken me a long time to get jiggy with spiders. But my problem right now, don't invite them, but plant twice the corn. Yeah, exactly. But what I'm having a problem with now is, my emotional growth and spiritual growth is going beyond. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm having a problem with the mice. And I'm not having a problem with the mice. I'm having a problem killing them. Every day, I go and I check my trap, and there's a dead mouse in it. But a couple of times, the mouse was still alive, and I had to dispose of it. And my cousin Angie flipped out. You didn't drown that mouse with a toilet brush, did you? Yes, and I had nightmares about it. I did. It upset me very greatly. But what would upset me more is the thought of a live mouse going into my septic tank and dying a slow, disgusting, horrible death. But no matter how I slice it, if I have to actually kill the mouse myself, I have a really hard time because they're just trying to survive like everything else, right? Just not allowed in my house anymore. So I've been having a bit of an emotional crisis over killing mice. I've had to kill 3 of them in the last month. For winter, nasty disease, little things. Oh, I get it. Oh, centipedes. Don't even go there, seashell. I got 2 insects that I just absolutely shudder and cannot stand to even see. Earwigs and centipedes. I can't even talk about it. Yeah, I know. Well, I'm getting a mouse a day and have been since the end of July. Stuff like that can survive just fine somewhere else, not in my house. That's right. Right? Like the one I got this morning was alive. But it was like its front shoulder was crunched really bad. And it was like swimming in the toilet. And I'm going, buddy, come on. Right? So I had to hold it underwater, and I have to put a piece of toilet paper over it to hold it under the water so I don't have to look in its eyes as it dies. That's the God's honest truth. And then I have to ask for forgiveness afterwards because it hurts my heart to kill anything anymore. Put down Irish Spring and mint around the sachets. It keeps the mice out of the house. Those are rough feelings, especially for somebody, like to me, it's useless. You try and live in my house, you're gonna, as a mouse, you're gonna die. And I don't like the job any more than I liked putting down a dog or or shooting a pig or snapping the neck of a chicken. But I always knew from the time I raised them that those were being raised for food. And the life that they could live on our property would be a happy life until the day they went in the freezer. Because I gave my animals love and respect. But gee, don't be coming in my house, man. You're wild. You live out there, right? And to me it's needless. It's needed, but it's needless, and it hurts my heart a bit. I have a black barn snake for the last 2 years in my rabbit barn. Knock on wood, he's never killed a bunny, but I haven't had a mouse in there in 2 years. There you go. There you go. And they make me nuts. Well, you're looking for soup recipes. Well, Michelle Maria, go over to our half-acre homestead and look in my playlist, Home Economics. Because I'm pretty sure soup's on every one of those. There's like 5 different. I've got, what have I got for the pantry? I've got, like, Howie brought in those hot dogs. He still hasn't eaten them all. And rather than making hot dogs on the bun, see, I got plans. I'm going to freeze a couple of those hot dogs because they're long ones. And I'm going to make my, someone calls it Hoover stew, but I take a can of my garden medley vegetables, the tomatoes and the squash and all that stuff. And I throw in some onions and some, dehydrated or frozen mixed vegetables. And then I chop up a hot dog or two. And when times were lean, that was a meal, but it was hearty, right? Hot dog soup, absolutely. I make potato soup. I make potato cheese soup, and I've got enough broccoli in the freezer. I think I'm going to make broccoli cheese soup soon. I mean, we eat a lot of soup. And when the weather starts getting cold and damp, any rainy day is a soup day. So, like a bowl of chili dog. Oh my goodness. My 3 least favorite. Well, like tonight I'm making chicken noodle soup. And it's, the chicken noodle soup is a pantry pull meal for those who are asking me, well, how do you cook those dehydrated vegetables? Well, for starters, like they were asking me about measurements. And I basically said, I'm telling people, think about this. If 10 pounds or 9.5 pounds of carrots, diced and dehydrated, fit in a quart jar, then you got, when it's full to the rim, you got 4.5 cups. So do the math. Do the math. A quarter cup is like a pound of carrots. Right? Because 4 times 4, no. Half a cup is like a pound of carrots. Or 2 pounds of carrots or something like that. Oh, potato soup is one of Howie's favorites. And we're going to have chicken soup tonight, so I can't give him soup again for a couple of days. But we eat soup in the cold and damp weather in winter 2-3 times a week. But his favorite's potato. His favorite soup is potato. And when my mom made it, I remember when we were renovating. So I couldn't have been any more than 4 or 5. And my Uncle Joe and my dad had gone smelt fishing. And Mom had smelts. So she would fry them in cornmeal, these smelts. And, oh, they were so good. And I'm not a fish eater, folks. But the smelts were delicious. Now, I thought it was a rare treat. What it was is we lived on smelts and potato soups what felt like for over a week. And when things were broke, when my parents were broke, my mother would 5 kids, 2 and 2 grown adults, 5 kids between the age of 0 to 14. She'd take 3 or 4 pounds of potatoes, put it in a big pot, dice it all up, put in 2 or 3 pounds of onions diced up, salt, pepper, and boil it. And then she'd get the masher out and mash a little bit of it right into the water to make the water cloudy. And then she would top it up with skim milk made from skim milk powder and salt and pepper. That's potato soup. That's poor man's potato soup. And I've done it. But now I fancy it up. Now I use broth and home canned potatoes and onions and celery and all that stuff. But my mom's potato soup when we were broke was water, potatoes, onions, salt and pepper, and a bit of skim milk. And that filled the hole. I also made a dried cream of potato soup mix for quick meals. Really? Well, I'm going to have to, you're going to have to send that to me. See, I got these powdered eggs and I thought they were freeze dried and they're not. So I'm going to have to use them, right? Which is fine. I'm down to my last egg. But people are going to be looking at my videos this year, my cooking videos, and they're not going to be all these wonderful, this from this. Well, there's going to be occasional like chicken dinner. And then how many meals I get out of it, or a roast, or whatever the case may be. But most of my meals that you guys are going to see are going to be pantry pull meals all winter long, because I ain't shopping if I don't have to. Barbara, make sure you cook the celery till it's almost soft before you dehydrate it, or it'll be a bitch to rehydrate. The only time celery rehydrates really well is when it's long cooked in like a soup or something. I'd like the recipe for the 4-ingredient potato soup. Potatoes, onions, butter, and milk. Yeah. Right? Well, I'm sure there was Mom put butter in there, but probably margarine back then. So thank you, Monique. ConnectedHeartsFamily@gmail.com. I love ham and beans. Well, I got a bag of red kidney beans and red chili beans, which to me I thought were the same thing. So I'll be canning those up soon. And just because I would rather, I'm going to check at both my videos to see. But a lot of my videos, upcoming videos after this week, are going to be combination videos. Like the day, when I'm making celery powder, I'll probably be making and canning broth that day. Or the day I'm canning carrots, you're going to see me making, once the carrots are done, I'm going to make broth. Some of my videos are going to be more combination videos, like the video on Friday. But and that's only because canning carrots I've already done several videos on. Canning carrots and rutabagas, done several videos on. So it's time to not just show you how to do something, but how to do something with that too, right? I'm late as usual. Hey, Michelle, just got a chance to sit down. I hear you. How's North Carolina weather today? When you get the recipe, can you do a video? Is this about the, what recipe are we talking about? Dried cream of potato soup mix for quick meals. Absolutely. Because I'm thinking of ordering some whole milk powder too. Because I have buttermilk powder. I'm thinking about this now. I have vegetable powders. I have buttermilk powder. I have powdered eggs. I should be able to make some really nice recipe jars this year to give as gifts. The one that I make is navy beans and ham hock water, and that's it. That sounds like split pea soup to me. But one of my pantry pull meals is going to be my jar of split pea soup. I'm going to be pulling out of the pantry and showing you how, because I canned it on the airing on the side of more liquid, just because you don't want to can anything that's too thick. Queenie, Christmas cards. Oh, I'm so pissed off at Christmas cards. If you're going to be in the Christmas card and seed exchange, remember to pick seeds that are really easily hidden inside a Christmas card or greeting card. You don't have, it doesn't have to be Christmas. You can send a happy Hanukkah card. We're all going to embrace the spirit of sharing and keeping the lines of communication open over the holidays. But email me at Connected Hearts Family, all one word, at Gmail, Connected Hearts Family at gmail.com, and put in the subject line, I would like to be in the greeting card seed exchange. And then in the body of the letter, give me your proper name, your YouTube name, in case it's different, and your mailing address. Okay? I need your mailing address because I no longer do it through the Facebook page, because people would say, oh yeah, I want to be in, and they'd get their 5 names. And 5 people would get their name and they would get their cards, but they wouldn't send theirs out. And it's like, you know what? If you're not willing to tell me who you are, give me your address so that I can share it with everybody else who's given the trust with me to give me your address, right? You're giving me your address. You're trusting me with that. All right. If you're not willing to trust me with your address and your proper name, then you don't want to be part of the Christmas card exchange. So email me, put it in the, because all I'm doing right now is whenever somebody sends me one that says I want to be in the greeting card exchange and they give me their address and everything, I just put that whole email into a file. And then come November, mid-November, because we're going to do our advent calendar of tea. We're going to organize that for December. We're going to do that in November. We're also, and at the mid-November, everybody's going to get their 5 names. You're going to get an email. These are the 5 people you send your Christmas cards or greeting cards to. Even if you don't do Christmas cards, you can say, I don't do Christmas cards, but have a nice day or something, some kind of greeting card, right? All right, Huffy, how's it going? I didn't even see you there. Incoming email. Okay, Tony G. My hot dog soup is a can of green beans, some potatoes and onions, and a can of tomatoes. Well, my first one I ever made was when the kids were small and we were pretty broke. We were also drinkers and smokers back then too, right? So, but I own that. But I remember having 3 hot dogs in the fridge. So I took a can of tomatoes and an onion, and I diced the can of tomatoes in the onion, or I diced the onion into the can of tomatoes. I had less than a cup, like 3/4 of a cup of frozen mixed peas, carrots, corn kind of thing in the freezer, because it was like the day before payday. And I threw in 3/4 of a cup of frozen mixed vegetables, a can of tomatoes, a diced onion, and I thinly sliced up those 3 hot dogs. And that fed us for supper. So how many seeds are we supposed to send with the card? Well, you're going to get 5 names and 5 addresses, because it's kind of like a chain mail thing, but it's like a greeting card exchange of love, because every person gets 5 other names from the list. Okay. And you send 1 packet of seeds. Now, you're going to know by their address, and yes, this is open to international. This is the best way to do this. Just don't send beans or anything bulky unless you're sending a bulky Christmas card, right? But you're going to get 5 names, and you're going to mail out 5 Christmas cards, and you're going to know by their address what region they live in and what will grow and will not grow. Like where I live in Western Quebec, I'm north of Ottawa, Ontario, okay? And that means I have a shorter growing season than most, right? So you're going to know by the person's address what kind of seeds are appropriate for their area. So this isn't just a greeting card. This is a greeting card, a little packet of hope And somebody you don't even know is going to get a card from you saying, you know, have a great holiday. I'm thinking of you. Here's a little hope for spring. And then you're going to get, okay, because say there's 5 people on the list. So say there's 10 people on the list. All right. I pick, there's me, there's Bella, there's Malka. You know what I mean? I get these 5 people and I send them a card. Then the next person down gets these 5 people. So you're going to get more than 5 cards. Right? But you're sending out 5. So what we're doing is we're sending each other packets of hope for spring in a holiday season when we're heading into the deepest part of winter. I just love that idea. I just love it. You can plant twice a year. That's awesome. Okay, hang on a second. That's the email. So put your name or put in the subject line. Please, enter me into the greeting card exchange and send your name and your address and let us know who you are on YouTube in case your name is different so that I'll recognize you. Okay. And we'll have a blast. Already got my stamps. But I'm going to Costco at the probably next weekend. And I'm going to buy more stamps. And I bought these stupid greeting cards from Amazon. And I'm ticked at myself because I didn't look deep enough into it. Because last year I bought greeting cards that were some of them were like reproduction old ones from the 1700s. So when I saw old-fashioned Christmas cards, I went, great, but they didn't say it was an old-fashioned Christmas card book, and the cards in it are postcards. So I may do something with these in ornamentation this year. We'll see. But so I want to go to Costco and see if they got my Christmas cards this year, or if I'm going to have to order them off of Amazon. But I've got to go to Costco to get more oatmeal, more sugar, more butter. I got to top up the lard, the oatmeal, and hemp hearts, nuts, seeds for my fruitcakes and stuff like that. Raph, if you're still here, you might want to come down one day and you come down and do fruitcakes with me. Listen, guys, I didn't realize I've been on here for over an hour and a half. It's going on 6, and my noodles are going to take 15 minutes to cook and 15 minutes to prepare. Because I don't pull out, although I may just pull out the noodle cutter today, roller and cutter, just because I'll hand make the noodles maybe, and I'll put them on I don't know. But I got to make the noodles for the soup. Because Howard's probably getting hungry. You getting hungry, baby? I think he's asleep out there on the couch. This is things. He gets me to watch these stupid shows that I don't want to watch. And then he falls asleep. And for all that, I might as well put on Call the Midwife. You're going to fall asleep anyway. Hey, Hal? You getting hungry? All right, darling. Post a picture of the soup. Oh, honey, I'll do more than that. I'm doing a video on the soup because there's a surprise twist to the noodles. I'm doing a video on the soup for our half-acre homestead. It'll probably be out Friday. Oh, and don't forget, if you're from our half-acre, over here from our half-acre homestead, don't forget, the 4 jars party closes at 11:59 p.m. on Friday night because the draw is at midnight and is open for Saturday. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, once I get all my stuff together, it'll be the first week in November is my traditional time for making fruitcakes. But yeah, we'll make some fruitcakes. I miss having company to do that. No, go over to, hang on a second here. Just give me a second. Just before I go. Now listen, it's time. When we all are gonna come together here and share our spiritual blessings and light and love. For all of those who don't want to stay for the closing prayer, that's totally understandable. If it's not your bag, it's not your bag. Okay, now let me just, what was it you wanted? Oh yeah, the party. Did you miss the party? No, this is, here we go. Let me just put it in here for y'all. Hang on. Switch account. Back over here.
Still wearing enough layers to insulate it?
No, I'm not. All right, here we go. Let's get down here. And here is the link for the 4 Jars party. That closes on Friday at 11:59 p.m. and the draw is Saturday, will be uploaded for midnight. It's one of the last 4 Jars parties because canning season is coming to an end. However, there will be one, I think, in October. I think. And I do believe there's going to be one in November to kick off the pre-Christmas season to give people ideas of what you can buy or stuff the stocking of your favorite canning personality. Right? I love you too, baby. Eastern Daylight Time. Our clocks don't go back until the first or second Sunday in November. First Sunday in November. So then we go to daylight savings time, which I think is a crock of crap. Why do they throw our sleep patterns off and work patterns off for nothing? I think we should get rid of daylight savings time. All right, listen, for all those who care to, please help me close. And if you are not already our Half Acre Homestead subscriber, please go on over and subscribe, like, and share, and start back in like around 2010 of my videos, and you will see the journey that has got us here. Now, everybody's had a chance to leave. Who wanted to leave? Please help me close with a bit of spiritual nourishment. You connect to the source of your faith. I will connect to mine. And if any of my words don't suit your faith, then you just leave them out. The whole point of this is that we come together in love and light. All right? No walls. All right? So let's take a nice deep breath. Well, Michelle Barnhill, you go up and look at that link. This link right here, and it'll tell you, all right, what a 4 Jars party is. Because I don't use the word giveaway anymore because it brings out the trolls. And the last time I used the word giveaway in a title, really, Saskatchewan. The reason I don't use the word giveaway is because the last time I did, a whole bunch of people, trolls, came into the chat telling people that they had won and that you had to contact them. Unless you see my face on a video calling your name, but to avoid all of that, we no longer say the word giveaway in titles. So that's what a 4 Jars party is. 4jars.com or .org is Seashell has put their heavy duty canning lids. I believe they're 4 millimeters thicker than any other disposable one-use lid on the market. And I will can with nothing else. To the point where back in May, I sold an entire box of Bernardin canning lids for 50 cents a piece for 50 cents for a box of 12 because it's all I will use is 4 jars. Exactly, Rosie. That's why we don't use those words. We call it a party for a reason. So whenever you see a party in my title, it usually means get away. Hey, Tina Elliott, we're just about to close. So before I start doing deep breathing, I should blow my honker. That's okay, honey. When we close, you can go back and watch it over if you like. I didn't realize we were running on 2 hours. My knees are not better today, but they're better than they were. Last night, when I slept, I didn't get shooting pains jerking me awake through my, shooting pains through my knees jerking me awake. So every day, when I can sit here and not have pain somewhere is a blessing. Right now, the pain's in my shoulders. So, all right. For all those who care to, you connect to your faith, I'll connect to mine. And let's join hands and hearts across the world and share some spiritual nourishment. All right. Inhale the positive and exhale the negative. Inhale the light. Exhale the negative darkness that we face every day. Inhale love. Exhale fear. Hey God, creator, the one source of all, how's it going? Why did you let me run on so long? Thank you, God, for bringing us together. Thank you for the ever widening circle of people who are awakening to the treachery that's going on in our world. Thank you, God, for bringing us together in love, light, communication, sharing of knowledge. God, this is a community of the best sense of the word because there ain't nowhere it can't reach right now. And I just want you, God, to shine your love and your light down on us. Fill us with the light of your love so that we can walk forward, shining the light of your love that will part the darkness for everyone around us who may be having a hard time sharing their light. God, keep us honest, keep us humble, keep us sharing knowledge, and keep us awake. Thank you, God, for bringing us together. May we all go forward in the light of your love, parting the darkness like Moses parted the Red Sea. Thank you, God. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Miigwech. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part. Walk in the shining light of God's love. Whatever language you use to talk to the source and creator and power behind your faith. Love is always the language, isn't it, that we use. And that's what keeps us together. Love! Love will keep us together. Anyway, I got to go make noodles for the soup. Look for a video on the soup probably next week. All right? Take care. God bless. And know you're loved. Right? Love you guys. Never forget that. Okay?